Tradesmen are the most sought after occupations in Australia, and millwrights are no different. We've got Danielle Du Preez in the studio today, and we're going to be talking about the latest placement that we are managing on behalf of a client in Australia. Let's check it out. Danny, how's it going?
It's going great.
Good. So we got Danny with us. Danny works out of our international recruitment division here at New World Immigration. And we are going to be spending the morning discussing a new posting that's become available out of Australia with one of our companies or clients in Australia. Whereabouts is the company?
So it's more regional side.
Yes.
They've got quite a few posts, but it's all regional areas. So it's a well-established Australian timber and operations, manufacturing operations company.
Okay.
They're looking for millwrights.
Please tell us what a millwright. I know I asked Sean this last week, but please tell us what a millwright is. It's like an electrician and a
fitter. So it's a dual trade combination. So you would have done your trade test as an electrician and as a fitter.
And these types of trades are like very sought after in Australia.
It's very sought after in Australia, and it's very common in South Africa. So in Australia, they don't actually have a millwright.
Okay.
They've got a fitter or they've got an electrician.
So we've got like a boosted version.
So when South Africans come, hey, I'm a millwright.
Yes.
Opportunities open because either or you can go over as a fitter or as an electrician. So
wow, that's actually quite a bonus for a company that
100%.
has those requirements within their business. They can be multitasking a lot.
Exactly, and that's why so interesting. I don't think you know this.
Yes.
The head of the directors that is looking for these candidates is South African himself.
Okay.
So that is why.
So he knows the skill set, he knows the
millwrights.
integrity, he knows the loyalty, he knows the hard work ethic.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And that's why he's like, I want South Africans. So he is being in charge of recruiting 10 millwrights and creating this South African team.
Okay.
That will then be working for this company.
If you are a millwright watching this now, what could you tell us about the position that will explain more about what to expect when you get there, and like maybe we can talk a little bit about the range of salary that's on offer and things like that.
Okay. So it's in a regional area.
Yes.
This is actually, it's more appealing for day-to-day life. You are not in the big city traffic. You're not paying the big city rent. With that, it's also offering families the ability to settle down. It's giving you the income to settle down, and it's giving people the chance to really just generally slow down a bit.
And that's exactly what I would want to do, right? I mean, wouldn't you want the same thing? You want to go there,
slow down.
Yeah, like you want to take it easy. You've just arrived at a new country.
Exactly.
You don't want to be stuck in this hustle bustle. It's high energy, and obviously in the major metropolitan areas in Australia, it's very expensive, right?
It's extremely expensive.
Yes.
And we try to really inform candidates that come to us and say, I want to go to Sydney, I want to go to Melbourne. I'm like, great, that is the life that you want.
Yeah.
But stepping in regional, giving yourself the opportunity to save that income, to settle in slowly and build that foundation to where you'd want to be, regional is best. And from South African point of view, regional is best.
And it leads to if you want to stay there, if you want to stay there permanently, and you do well in your position.
Exactly.
As a millwright, you can stay on. Your work permit can be extended, and then you can eventually apply for permanent residency for you and your family, right?
Exactly, yes.
Beautiful.
And once you've gotten permanent residency, Australia is your oyster.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to invest in property, wherever you feel that your family could grow a strong foundation in, if it's not in the regional area that you're already in, which I feel for most South Africans it would be, you've got that opportunity. You're not limited to just one thing or one place.
I actually got a friend. He's a marine engineer. He moved to Australia 17 years ago. I opened up my Facebook this morning, and his name's Simon. And I read this thing, and he's quite an outspoken South African guy. And he's always commenting on the differences between South Africa and Australia. And he just said there, 17 years ago, I moved to Australia. It was the absolute best decision I've ever made. The life I live for myself, my family, my kids. And happy Australia Day. I think it was either yesterday.
It's today.
Today
Today is Australian Day.
Okay,
yeah, it's actually
cool.
a public holiday because it's National Australia Day.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so what interested me when we were talking about this before the show was the surprising amount of funding that they are allocating to relocation costs.
Yes.
This is very rare. You don't
It
see
is-
this often, where the company's actually willing to pay for flights, accommodation.
It is.
Well, I don't know about accommodation, but I know flights.
Yes. Now, from a recruitment point of view,
Yes.
I want to say that the approach that Sean has put towards recruiting South Africans is family forward.
Yes.
He is giving the chance to allow you and your family to come over.
Yes.
Now, let's take it back and actually just discuss what sponsorship looks like on a regular role basis.
Yes.
Visa sponsorship depends on company to company, but the baseline of that consists of covering the nomination. I'm going into jargon, yeah, but it's nomination and the 482 work permits.
Yes.
So the fees behind getting that in place is covered by the company on a standard basis.
And a lot of people misconstrued that, right? They think like sponsorship, I'm being sponsored, everything, I'm getting a check from $100,000, like they're going to pay for flights and my family and all these things, but it's actually sponsorship, like the company's offering you a position, basically.
They're
from
offering you a
like
position.
from a legal standpoint, right?
Yes.
That's what sponsorship actually means, right? But
The
in this case,
company-
it's slightly different.
Exactly.
Yes.
So on a standard basis, it means that the company is sponsoring that visa that you require.
Yeah.
And they're offering you the job. They're sponsoring that opportunity for you. Whereas with this approach that Sean's having, it's the visa sponsorship.
Yes.
It is going back again on recruitment. They actually flying candidates out. So you'll have an assessing process and a screening process with our recruitment team. You'll have it with their HR team. And should that be successful, they'll actually fly you out for an in-person interview with the company.
Wow.
And once that's been done successfully, an offer comes thereafter.
Wow.
With that, it's the visa sponsorship.
Yes.
It's flights.
Yes.
Flights rarely get covered by companies.
You don't ever hear that. So that's like, I was like, what? That's like quite
And
amazing.
it's not just the candidate, it's the candidate and their dependents, so
Wow.
wife and kids.
Wow.
Then it is also a relocation allowance.
Okay.
Now let's go further into that. That is 20,000 Australian dollars.
Yes.
That's being put forward to you and your family that can be used in two ways. A, you can use that for fright. So if you've got sentimental furniture that you don't want to let go of,
Yeah.
you want to bring that to you,
Yeah.
that's a budget that's given to you so that
Wow.
you can do that.
Wow.
In many cases, families don't have that furniture that they're sentimental about. Get rid of it, get some extra dosh. There's 20K for you in
Like settling costs.
Yes,
You wanna,
it's
like,
settling. So
kit out
you
your
want
house
a
or-
house.
yeah.
You've got a house now. You want furniture. You want a
Yeah.
nice TV. You want a nice bed.
Yeah.
Room for your kids. That's $20,000 for you to do that.
I tell you, if I'm like regretting my decision to take this career path. I was thinking maybe I should be a millwright. That sounds like a pretty cool
And
thing.
I want to say, I feel like those cheesy little ads, but there's more. There's
Okay,
more.
There's more.
There's
Yeah.
also 3 months of accommodation that they're going to be providing
Wow,
when
that's
you get there.
insane. That is
So
absolutely
that first
insane. You never
three
hear that.
months of settling, that 3 months of getting into the work culture, getting into the community culture, that's that unsettlingness,
Yeah.
they are easing it in every way.
This says to me one thing, like if you're a millwright and you're looking for a solid company, listen, if you apply, we can't guarantee that you're going to get the job, but apply, put yourself forward, expose yourself to this opportunity, because it tells me one thing about the company. The company is heavily invested in their people and they're wanting to build an amazing team with a solid culture, and then where people are coming to work, they're happy, they're fulfilled, they're earning well, there's camaraderie, they've got good peers, everyone's respectful. This is the type of place I want to work.
Exactly. I mean, think about it realistically, Robbie. No one's going to offer a visa sponsorship for you and your family, along with flights, relocation allowance, along with 3 months accommodation,
Yes.
if they don't want you to settle
Yes.
and create yourself a long-term success
Yeah.
in Australia.
Danny, tell us about what you're looking for in a candidate. What do they need to have?
Okay, so I'm looking for millwrights, trade certificate millwrights.
Yes.
Experience we're looking for. So Sean did let us know that Millwrights that come from a mining background tend to do very well.
Yes.
And it's just because of the pace of the environment, along with the safety protocols and, stuff like, I've got my notes here, but you'll be working with mechanical maintenance, breakdown preventatives, gearboxes, fault-finding environments.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes.
Also in mining, also in heavy industrial environments.
Yes. And what ages are you looking for? Is that not really a factor?
No, that is very important. The age is 43. Now
below.
And below.
Okay.
My apologies.
Yes.
43 and below.
Yeah.
This isn't the company trying to be difficult. This is really just immigration standards.
I'm 44.
44.
I'm pushing.
Robbie, you've got a couple of months, eh? It's 43, and this is solely because permanent residency, you are no longer eligible for permanent residency over the age of 45.
Okay.
Of course, as you can imagine, with the package being offered, they want candidates that could apply for permanent residency, eventually citizenship. The plan is to move and grow in Australia. You can't do that if
they want
you
longevity
no longer...
with these people, with these candidates.
Exactly.
Yeah, to stay with the company for a while.
Exactly. I mean, realistically speaking, the company's not going to be able to afford to do a work permit over and over and over again for you and then for your family. So longevity and permanent residency is the goal.
Yeah.
43 and below is the age.
And if I was interested, how would I apply for this position? Who would I contact? How do I reach out?
Okay, so if you go on our website, we have a job board now. I don't know if a lot of our clients know, but on our NWI website, there's a jobs portal. You click in there. All our vacancies will be posted. You can apply through the job board. If you have my direct email or Sean's, which is Danielle at NWIvisas.com, Sean at NWIvisas.com.
Yeah.
You can go directly to the email address. And I believe we've also got a recruitment at NWIvisas.com email address as well.
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
If you forget all of that, which I'm sure you will,
give us a call.
Website.
I think the best thing is perhaps to just email Danny. Is it Danny or Danielle? Danielle.
Yes.
Danielle at NWIvisas.com.
DLE. Yeah. Or website or give us a call.
Brilliant stuff. That's exciting. Thank you so much. That was awesome. If you're a millwright and you are interested in this position, please reach out to Danny. Please also like and subscribe this content. It helps do something with the algorithm, and then it gets more out there, and then we can post more jobs and get more people involved. But yeah, thanks again, Danny. And
it's a pleasure. This is an exciting opportunity, not just for you as a professional, but for you and your family. This company's family forward. They respect that. You don't get opportunities. We don't get opportunities like this that is such a family forward operation on our laps. And I take it with everything. It's salary. Sorry, I didn't even touch on salary.
Yes.
You're looking at an average of 42 Australian dollars per hour. Now that's excluding any overtime. That's looking at between 90 to 105 Australian dollars per year. That's excluding superannuation, which is Australian
version of
pension.
Yeah, about 105,000 Australian dollars per year. Yeah. It's really good. It's 1.2 million rand a year. Very good.
And you're saving that. You're saving that more than what you could in South Africa. And it's don't want to say it that way, but realistic and factually, that is the case.
Yes, 100%. Cool. Thanks, Danny. Thanks so much. And we'll check you guys out soon when we have some more postings.
Yes.
Can't wait to do another one.
I'll be back.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.